Ms. Agman Bosa. Mr. Bono.
Here.
Ms. Brashali. Mr. Campo. On speakerphone. Ms. Casper. Ms. Childs. Mr. Clonis.
Here.
Mr. Condon. Mr. Dembeck.
Yeah.
Ms. Driscoll. Mr. Fioravanti.
Here.
Mr. Goldstein.
Here.
Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Green. Mr. Healy.
Here.
Ms. Jessic. Mr. Keatley.
Here.
Ms. Khan. Ms. McKenzie. Mr. Monahan.
Here.
Ms. Morsehead. Ms. Mullen. Ms. Mullen-Cole. Mr. Halinsu. Ms. Stewart-Gelinas. Mr. Segru.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, folks, first on is item C, to consider an act upon the minutes of the February 3rd, 2025. Can I get a motion, please? Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor to consider an act upon the minutes of the February 3rd, 2025 meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Very good, moving on. Item D, correspondence. Please bear with me because we have quite a few correspondence. On your table, there was a letter from Gary Snyder, Director of Public Works, pertaining to the library HVAC system, item 3. Once voted on, if we could also pass the emergency legislation and to waive the 15-day waiting period. Also on your sheet was the Waterford School System Public Schools quarterly report. There was also a letter from Waterford Little League that will take care of under new business if needed. You also had from the Republican Town Committee and the Democratic Town Committee, Utility Commission nominations. You also had on your table from citizen Teresa Walensky pertaining to item 5 to speak in favor of item 5. You also had from the Republican Town Committee nominations for the Senior Services Commission. You had a Oswegatchie School Building Report, which would also be under liaison from Ted Alinsu, as well as a correspondence from chairperson of the Oswegatchie Oswegatchie Firehouse Building Committee, Bob Teneski, pertaining to Representative Condon's question on the cost of the third bay versus 2 bays. In addition to that, you have your ARPA report, and there was also a letter or correspondence that was part of the RTM to represent the first select person rule from P&Z pertaining to housing demolition. In addition to that, just before the meeting, I received correspondence from the first select person in relation to Representative Driscoll's question regarding information regarding a ordinance that every 4 years the Board of Selectmen and RTM and the Board of Finance that would be provided to review agreements pertaining to certain departments as well as private organizations. It's a very thick packet, and we'll discuss that under new business because it's going to be involved. And with that, that's all I have for correspondence. All right, moving on. Item E is public comment. For those of you who have never been here before or new to the audience or new to public comment is the public's time to speak about any item that they would like. It does not have to be on the agenda. It is not a time that the RTM members will have a back and forth or questions for any of your comments. It's your time to speak on anything that you would like. If it's something that may not pertain to the RTM, and we may be able to direct you to a department that will help you with that, just for efficiency so you can get an answer to your question, we may give you that information if we can. During public comment, please do not interrupt the speaker because it's an embarrassment to our community and to ourselves, and we don't want to present that to our community moving forward. With that, if you could also please keep your public comment to approximately 3 minutes so that everybody who's on the list who would like to speak can, and that the RTM can move on with their business that on the agenda that's for tonight. And with that, first on for public comment, I have Bob Kine. Bob, if you could just come up to the table and state your name for the record, and if you could please just make sure you press the green light on the microphone so we can all hear you.
Bob Kine, 18 Dimmick Road. Moderator Goldstein, Majority Leader Stuart Gelinas, Minority Leader Driscoll, Clerk Campo, and members of the RTM. While the fiscal year 26 budget from the Rec and Parks Department is not on this evening's agenda, I wanted to take this opportunity to highlight an issue that has been working its way through various town boards and commissions over the last month. Specifically, the elimination of morning lap swim from the fiscal 26 parks budget in its current form, which you'll be voting on next month. Largely due to fiscal constraints, morning lap swim had rather suddenly been slated for cancellation in March. However, a strong contingent of patrons and lifeguards presented themselves at the March 5th, 2025 Board of Finance meeting to speak in support of this long-standing programming, with an offer of partnership and identifying a win-win funding scenario for the dedicated patrons and the town. Since that Board of Finance meeting, I've been very gratified for the engagement of the town at every level. Parks Director McNamara and his staff, in coordination with various offices and Town Hall, was able to adjust hours and staffing at the pool such that morning lap swim could continue through the end of fiscal 25, while a longer-term solution is identified. We had a strong showing at the March 25th Rec and Park Commission meeting as well, which led to further productive discussions with Director McNamara and Mr. Seaflick. I attended the March 31st RTM special meeting where I learned that whether it's through motor vehicle taxes or an increase in the mill rate, our taxes in town will go up. The national and local fiscal environment is getting tighter in the immediate term, that much is certain. Of note, ours is the only town-owned pool in Eastern Connecticut that does not charge an annual or monthly membership fee to all users. And we've enjoyed this privilege and benefit for 40 years now, since the pool was built. Happily, Town Clerk Campo, upon reviewing the town ordinances and conferring with his colleagues at the Board of Ed, was able to determine that there is no prohibition on charging pool patrons for access, which provides a potential path forward for all involved. Over the next several weeks, this group of taxpayers will work with the Parks Department to identify a fiscal 26 funding proposal to keep morning lap swim going, which will include a user fee. This will allow all patrons of the pool to chip in and ensure we're getting the most out of our beautiful aquatic facility while minimizing the burden on the taxpayers at large. The town and patrons are extremely fortunate to have dedicated lifeguards who show up well before dawn 5 days a week in support of this programming. There would be no morning swim without them. As this updated cost structure and funding proposal is not in the budget as approved by the Board of Finance for your review next month, the Parks Department will need to bring a special funding request forward to the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance. Should we be successful at those levels and the funding request to keep morning lap swim afloat comes before this RTM, my hope is that you will vote in favor of what our industrious morning lap swim patrons consider to be a vital town offering. I wanted to bring this to your attention this evening so that over the next month leading up to the departmental budget reviews and approvals by the RTM, should you have any questions or concerns, we can discuss them in advance. It has thus far been an outstanding experience working with the town on this issue, and I hope to see a funding request come before you for consideration prior to July 1st to keep us in the pool without interruption. Most mornings during the week, you can find me at the pool from 5:15 to 6:15. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me at my email or phone listed at the top of this memo. Included in the packet that I handed around for your review and consideration are the minutes from the Board of Finance meeting from March 5th, as well as the memo I presented to the Recs and Parks Commission on March 25th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next on the list is Alan Walensky. Oh, that Alan Walensky.
Lord, is there another? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the RTM. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Alan Walensky, and I am the tax collector for the town of Waterford. And I would like to speak in favor of the report of the Finance, Wage, and Personnel Standing Committee that is agenda item number 5 tonight. You may think that this is somewhat self-serving, and you may be correct. But I am speaking also as the unofficial spokesperson for the 6 elected officials in Waterford. I feel that we 6 are being held to a different standard for our compensation simply because we are elected rather than hired. With the exception of the town treasurer, All of us are considered department heads and the managers of our respective offices. We are certified in our positions and obtain continuing education in order to maintain such certification. Yet the parameters of our salary assessment have been set in order to maintain our increases to a significant minimum compared to salary reviews of any other town employee. Since 2019, in the past 6 years, the compensation of the tax collector and these similarly elected officers has increased by only 7%, with the exception of the registrars. Fiscal year 2025's increase of 1.2% actually resulted in a net pay decrease due to the increase in retirement and insurance participation costs. The 6 of us are professionals, performing extremely important duties for the town, and I would say that we are performing those duties at an extremely high level, with professionalism and pride. I would place our reputations, our office functionality, and our department results against any municipality in this state. We are non-union municipal managers, and we would like to be treated as such. I'd be happy to answer questions when agenda item comes up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the list is Brianna Hogarty.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. My name is Brianna Hogarty, and I live at 50 Dimmick Road. I'm currently the president of the Waterford Little League here in town. If you look at on page 18 of your agenda packet, there's correspondence from myself regarding the Waterford Little League North Complex. Our Little League has proudly maintained 2 complexes in town for decades. Our main facility on Barnerswood Road and a second set of fields adjacent to Quaker Hill Elementary School. Those fields adjacent to Quaker Hill Elementary School, considered the North Fields, are part of a town-owned park called Oak Park, but our league bears the responsibility of maintaining them. Our volunteers care for 7 ball fields in town, along with concession stands, dugouts, press boxes, bathrooms, and more, all while additionally covering all the utility costs on both complexes. At this point, we simply don't have the volunteers, funding, or resources to continue maintaining both locations. We've explored options with the Park and Rec department, and they currently don't have the manpower to assist us with maintaining the North Fields. Lack of volunteers leaves us with only one option, which is to outsource the maintenance of the property, which is extremely costly to the league. The town currently rents the North Fields that Little League maintains to outside groups. This revenue is then put into the general fund. Little League is respectfully asking the RTM to consider creating a special revenue fund that allows that rental income to instead go to Waterford Little League to help offset the league's cost to maintaining those fields at the North Complex. Thank you for your consideration in creating this special fund to help our town and sports programs.
Thank you. Next on the list is Peter Colotis.
Thank you for allowing me this time. I am one of those morning swimmers that would like to see the pool continue to stay open. Like many of us swimmers, in the morning, I've been going for over 40 years since the pool first opened in the 1980s. I feel in many ways, without repeating myself, because I've spoken about this before, but I feel in many ways it helps to bring the community together. Besides seniors like myself that swim in the morning, we have students from Waterford High School that swim during the swim season. We have parents that have serious swimming children that come. And more than anything, we have middle of the road people, ordinary working people that work EB or any place, that come in the morning because that's the only kind of exercise they're able to do. After work, they have another life. They have children, shopping, and so on. I really don't get why these morning swim may be cut back. I understand finances, but I still don't get it. In any case, I would like to see that program continue. And again, I would like to thank the people of Waterford and everyone responsible for the past 40 years of allowing this privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list is Alan Briggs.
I'm a swimmer too. Peter has me beat. I've been swimming for 32 years. I've been in town for 39 at Allen Bridge. And Peter's right. It's a great connection in the morning with everybody from town. You meet young people, you meet older people. It's just a great community there. But I wasn't able to speak in March, so I wanted to make sure and speak tonight. That was part of what I wanted to say, but the other part was, it doesn't seem fiscally responsible to me to have a facility like we have, maintain it, buy chemicals for it, power it, and then decide not to use it. So it makes me think almost like we bought a brand new fire truck for the firehouse and had it delivered and then realized we had to buy insurance for it, and said, hey guys, keep the fire truck in the barn because we can't buy insurance. We bought the pool, we paid for the pool, we put a lot of money in every year to maintain this facility. We need to use it. And the solution may be, I know we're looking at, I really appreciate what everybody's doing, looking at solutions that are out there, including having people start paying for it. But my big message tonight is closing the door to the pool isn't the right answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list is Laura Luna.
Hi there, I'm Laura Luna. I'm at 3 Winthrop Court, another swimmer from the AM Lap Swim. I don't have anything terribly technical prepared today. I do just want to lend yet another voice to exploring all possibilities to keep that morning swim open. And it really does bring the community together. It provides opportunities for people from all sorts of different backgrounds and ages to interact. And some of the best moments of my day are, short conversations that I get to have with all sorts of great individuals that I've been able to meet through AM Live Swim. So I do just ask that everyone please keep that consideration of anything that we can do to possibly keep it going. So thank you all for your time.
Thank you. And next on the list is Lori Wolfwood.
After asking me a lot of various questions, he says, what do you do to stay in shape? I said, I swim at the Waterford High School in the mornings. He said, keep it up. And I said, I hope I can. And I hope I can swim into my 90s, which is just down the road for me. So for all old people who like to swim, I sure hope you can keep it open. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Is there any other public comment? Is there any other public comment? Hearing none, public comment is these reports and referrals. Any updates from legislation and administration?
No, the only update is we did have a very exciting meeting last week, and our first discussions on the request from the Ethics Commission on the new ordinances, and we'll be meeting again, hopefully before we start budgets.
Thank you. Public health, recreation, environment, any updates?
By this election cycle.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to have a motion to accept the committee's reports and referrals. Can I get a motion, please? Second, got that? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Moving on to item G, appointing liaison updates. The only thing that was submitted, which I talked about in correspondence, was Representative Linsu's liaison letter regarding the Oswegatchie Fire Building Committee, which was on your desk tonight. Okay.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes, Representative
can I
Conlon.
give an update on the fire ad hoc?
Oh, certainly.
Mr. Keatley and Sue, if I speak out of turn, just correct me, the three of us are members on that committee. It's getting active again. We've met twice. We think we have a formula to move that forward, but there's some pretty hefty questions, some really good discussions are happening in that group. But I don't know a timetable, but I know that there are some promised timetables that they are working towards, so
Thank you. Any other liaison reports? Any other liaison reports? Any other liaison reports? Hearing none, moving on to the transaction of the business on the call. First item, item 1, to consider an act on 3 appointments to the Senior Citizens Commission for the term 4/7/2025, 4/3/2028. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Any nominations? Representative Jelinas.
I'd like to nominate Rick Beanie for reappointment for the next term.
Any other nominations? Are there any, Representative Driscoll?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. We're doing these all one at a time?
Yeah, we're gonna do one at a time in the order that they're nominated.
Okay. And these are for the reappointments?
Appointments or reappointments, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'd like to
Are we doing one
nominate-
position at a time or all 3?
That's
We're
what I
gonna
wanted
do,
to
we're
do.
nominating one person at a time.
I'd like to nominate Joyce Vaughn for reappointment.
Any other nominations? Representative Driscoll, Representative Jelinas, sorry.
I'd like to nominate Kathy Gagnon.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Representative Driscoll.
I'd like to nominate Tom Kennedy for reappointment.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare nominations closed. We will be voting on each person one at a time until the positions are filled. It will be a roll call vote. The first person nominated was Rick Beanie. Roll call vote, Mr. Campo.
A yes is for Rick Beanie. Miss Agman Bosa.
No.
Mr. Bono.
Yes.
Mr. Campo. Yes. Miss excuse me. Miss Childs.
Yes.
Mr. Clonis.
Yes.
Mr. Condon.
Yes.
Mr. Dembeck.
Yes.
Miss Driscoll.
No.
Mr. Fioravanti.
Yes.
Mr. Goldstein.
Yes.
Miss Gonzalez.
Yes. Yes.
Miss Green.
Can I abstain?
Yeah. Mr. Healy.
Yes.
Miss Jessic.
Yes.
Mr. Keatley.
Yep.
Miss Khan. Miss McKenzie.
Yes.
Mr. Monahan.
Yes.
Miss Mooreshead.
Yes.
Miss Mullen.
Yes.
Miss Mullen Cole.
Yes.
Miss Stewart Jelinas.
Yes.
Mr. Segru.
Yes.